everyone, I'm G.E.STROHL, the author of G.E.STROHL, and welcome to Read With Me, the author's cut. This is not going to be your average audiobook. I'll be reading my novel, one chapter at a time, pausing for live reactions, author secrets, and a few too many sips of wine every time I spot something I love or absolutely regret. So grab a drink, get comfy, and read with me. Let's see if I survive my own writing. What am I so nervous? We're gonna start at the prologue. Before we start, there are some rules. Every single time I find something that's incorrect, I don't really like, something awkward, I'm gonna take a nice big chug. Because, by the way, this is my first novel, debut author here. I'm guessing this is going to be gone. Halfway through the chapter? Yeah. And this is the prologue. So if you have read the prologue already, you'll understand that I will be done this. It's gonna be awkward. Cheers. Oh. Why am I doing this? Shivers course through me as a cold silver blade presses into the back of my neck, its tip piercing my pale skin and sending hot beads of blood running down to the cool sheets beneath my cheek. It's far different from the bite of the night breeze licking against the high arch of my hips in the air. So we're getting the position, right? The man, he quivers, a low moan escaping his lips as the weight of his body presses my chest and face further into the mattress. Slowly, he takes that blade and drags it along my spine, stopping between the two dimples just above my raised ass. With his free hand, he slides his finger down my hip, my waist, slips aside my breast, and down to claim my neck. He bends over from behind me and licks at the start of the sliced wound. A hiss at the touch of his warm tongue, the feeling of pain turning to pleasure. We're here. We're here and I'm doing this. Running his tongue down my spine, he collects and laps, savoring every drop that has escaped my body. He relishes the sweet taste of forbidden blood, taking pleasure in knowing he's drinking from a royal blood-born vampire. First vocab word of my book, of G.E.STROHL, blood-born. And obviously it's a vampire book. We're just going to take a sip because I want some. Okay. Music blares in the dark room with only the moon's light peeking in through the broken glass window. 10 floors up in the deteriorated building, I pick up the muted sounds of cars navigating the city streets below. A hideout for his business, but the perfect place for me to complete mine. What are we doing? A breeze prickles my skin. Each kiss of the cool air heightens my sensitivity. The music is dark and hypnotic. Each wave rushes over me and bends me to the will of what my blood is screaming for me to take. Bass vibrates the decrepit city building room, and the vibration works its way up from the bed to my knees and then to my hips. I roll with the rhythm and lean into him, arching towards his tongue, feeling the pressure from his growing need. The smell of iron, which, by the way, growing need. Do we like that? Are we okay with that? It's much better than juicy one-eyed worm, right? The smell of iron has me pulsating and pushing into him. How he can hold himself back this long is impressive for a nocturnal. Second vocab word, nocturnal. We'll find out later. With his hand still wrapped firmly around my neck, he snaps me up against him, his grip tight as our bodies press together. Fuck. With his hand still wrapped firmly around my neck, he snaps me up against him, his grip tight as our... See, that's like a... Fuck. See... Here's the thing, it feels like it should be one sentence, but it's not. Maybe I should... With his hand still wrapped firmly around my neck, he snaps me up against him. And then a semicolon. His grip tight as our bodies press together, my knees positioned outside his. Let's make that note. Or maybe not. We'll have to come back. Question mark? And I got little tabbies. Oh, I forgot the tabbies. Let me get the tabbies. We got the tabby. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, I have done my own nails. I got my own little UV light and special gel. Like, look at that. Look at that. Take it in. Take it in. I know. Why am I going to spend so much? Anyways, we got to get back to reading. Tap this shit. Let's restart. With his hand still wrapped firmly around my neck, he snaps me up against him, his grip tight as our bodies press together, my knees positioned outside his. He spreads me wide, granting him full access to the front of my body. With one hand, he tilts my neck to the side, while with the other, he takes the knife and gently slides it up from my navel. He lazily drags it past my stomach, skimming it delicately over my breast and nipple. My breath catches as he toys with the pebbled tip. A moan builds as he smoothly pulls it up to my throat, the blade pressing into my jugular. More, he pleads breathlessly into my ear. Pressure from the blade turns from careful to ravenous. My skin gives way, and a small bead of blood releases. Whew! His heart pounds beneath his chest, anticipation leaking from his pores. Teeth nibble at my ear, dragging and pulling. Uneven breaths whisper against my neck as he breathes in my scent. More, he begs again. I love when they beg. With sweet release, I whisper, then take it. Blissful breaths escape him as he brings the blade up against my exposed throat and slices through it. My blood flows down my breast, stomach, and thighs as he presses his lips against the open wound and drinks his fill. He throws the blade aside, the metal crashing against the wall across the room. He grabs his cock and... We're starting. He grabs his cock and rubs his head along my ass and between my core, teasing me. The man taunts me with his length, rubbing as he drinks from my neck. Is the alcohol working? His cock is drenched in my blood and the moisture that continues to build from tauntingly rubbing. Moans flood the room from the ecstasy that is blood. He guides himself toward my entrance and slowly, ever so frustratingly slow, pushes his way in, which, by the way, I love that. We moan in unison because fuck does it feel good. Hands still claiming and tightly wrapped around my neck, I tighten around him and rock on his length, his hard cock rubbing every inch inside of me. As if in response, his fangs pull more from my veins, and I feel the rush of the bitter edge. I move harder against him, arching my back into his chest to reach a new level of depth. Which, okay, so we do know the position, right? We're up against, like, and he's behind. This man is behind, and that's all you get. Where was I? My heart pounds and pumps more blood into his eager mouth. Taste me, have your fill. Feel the ecstasy that is me. I feel like this should be italicized. Italicized? Duh. Yeah. Oh, that's good. He releases my neck to focus on his throbbing wet cock that's sliding in and out of me. A sudden tightening, like flesh, knitting itself back into place distracts me. Muscle reattaching and skin sealing over. I'm healed completely from a slice wound on my neck and back, just in time for me to focus on his next move. Slowing his pace, the man glides his blood-coated hand to the back of my neck. He eases me down. So we're going down. We're going down. We're going down.
Going to hell.
And flattens my chest against the bed sheets, my ass yet again high in the air, exposed for him to do whatever he pleases, but he pauses. So I didn't want to say doggy. I wanted to keep it like sensual and not like garbage. So it's doggy. We're in doggy. He's holding back. I need more. I need more. That should have been italicized, bro. On page 3, cool. I wiggle underneath to take control, but he grabs my wrist and holds them together against my lower back, restraining me. My body thrashes underneath him, giving me all but the edge that I need just when he joyously begins to move. He slams into me and I cry out, again, another forceful plunge, again. I'm okay with that. The obedient nocturnal begins slamming harder, quicker, deeper with each thrust, making me moan louder and louder as he crashes into me. I'm completely soaked as I surrender to his whim, letting go of everything. I'm lost in the moment, his relentless rhythm, the blaring music he's moving to, and the scent and feel of the blood covering us. All of my senses are heightened, screaming, moaning, and needing. This intoxicating rush has me on the edge of destruction. Everything disappears and it's only me, blood, and the orgasm that's building within me. I need him, but not his cock anymore. In an instant, I catch a quick breath and slip out from under him, moving too swiftly for him to react. Straddling his lap, I loom over him, pressing his back against the wall. The sudden shift in our positions draws a nervous laugh from him. He tries to push himself away, but the weight of my hips keeps him pinned, though by the look of his eyes, he isn't trying too hard to escape. The bass of the music thrums in my ears, my vision blurry, and all I can see are his pulsating veins in his neck. Darkness and blood creep over my vision and take over all sense of control. A faint smile spreads as I look down my nose at him. My turn. All sound within the room ceases to exist as I plunge my fangs into his neck. I want it all. Grabbing both of his wrists, I overpower him and force his hands away from what my mouth demands. In surrender, he moans, swept away by the ecstasy of my sunken fangs. Poor guy doesn't even understand what's happening. He's still clueless when I release his wrist and place his hands on my hips. He grabs tightly, eager to follow my command as if this is all I want. Milliseconds later, I grab hold of his length and guide him inside me as I continue to suck more blood, a slide up and down his cock, building the release as more blood empties his body and fills my own. I need everything, so I take it all. The nocturnal starts to shake and struggle underneath me. My nails restrain him, digging into his flesh as he slowly becomes weak and limp beneath my grasp. I think I just want to drink. This isn't too bad. I'm happy. Blood fills my mouth, my nostrils, and every pore. And as I give him his finals release and suck out the last bit of life within him, I launch my head skyward, moaning and coming so hard my vision turns completely red and black. The sweet high of my orgasm and the rush of vampire blood, absolutely divine. I am pure. I am eternal. Taking a deep breath, I look down at the still form beneath me, grateful annoyance leaking from my tongue as I say, thanks. I needed that. He lies there lifeless, devoid of the beauty of nocturnal life. My blood is everywhere, but not a single drop of him was wasted. I pull my hair into a bun, hop off, grab my things, light a match, and throw it atop the corpse. I watch as the room sets ablaze and close the door behind me. And that is Prologue, the introduction to Nexus Crest. I'm pretty happy with it. I only have like 3 things that I kind of want to fix. My question is, I don't even have a question because I really think that I should just like fix it or make it more clear that it is doggy style. We are in doggy style at 2 points, at the beginning, and then we come up and then he pushes us back down, right? And the guy, he's not that important in this scene. I don't really describe him. Make your imagination go wild. That's what I'm kind of going for right here. If you have made it this far, you're officially a part of the Bloodborne Book Club. Let me know in the comments what parts made you laugh, cringe, or blush a little bit too hard. And if you're reading along with me, make sure to grab a copy of Nexus Crest at G.E.STROHL.com. I will sign it and send it with extra love, especially during Black Friday weekend and Cyber Monday. You'll get extra gifts. Meet me next week for Chapter 1 of Nexus Crest. It only gets darker from here. Meet you next week.